People want black and white. I mentioned very recently, people are getting confused. Or, well, this is what happens when cognitive dissonance is taking place. So it's about persisting in that cognitive dissonance. So there are those who engage in overcoming their cognitive dissonance and seeking the truth, because it only goes away once you've sought out answers and you've got those answers. And sometimes when you can't get those answers, then it just takes a process of elimination. Well, it can't be this, it can't be that. So no one's got all of the answers. But I'll try to stay on point here. You see this image in the thumbnail, black and white. This is as black and white as it can get. There's plenty of grey in the world, but this is as black and white as it can get. And if you think about the message from Allah, from the creator of the heavens and the earth, what would that message look like? It would be something that would make things black and white. And there are verses within the Quran which people would use. Allah says this in Surah number 3 verse 7, that people would use them to mislead people, to create fitna, to create things that are not true. Mutashabihat. So if people want things clear that they can judge upon, clear wisdom that they can judge upon, muhkamat, this is it right here. This is just one example. The Quran's full of them, but this is just one example. And if you obey most from within the earth, they will make you lost from the way of Allah. Not they follow except assumption, and not they are except making noise. Surah number 6, verse 116. So if you look at verse number 7, ad-dallin, that's the last word being mentioned in this surah that's recited how many times? I mentioned people are doing some made up version of a salat which goes up to 50 rakats in a day. Fine, however many rakats you want to call it. Let's say 17, let's say, I don't know, 10 rakats. In those 10 times Al-Fatiha. So you've recited that 10 times at least. I'm guessing some people, okay, let's say even 3 salat, 3 times 2, 6 rakats, 6 times you're reciting this surah Al-Fatiha. 6 times you're reciting it in a day. And that last word, ad-dallin. So this is ultimately what we're seeking, right? So if you look at that word ad-dallin, so dalla, yudillu, those who know this word, yudilluka, from that verse that is mentioned in this thumbnail about following the majority, they will make you yudilluka. It's the same word, dalla. Can you see? At the end of Al-Fatiha, dallin. This is exactly what everyone is repeating again and again every day. How many times a day? Don't make us of the lost ones. Don't make us of the lost ones. Don't make us of the lost ones. Yeah, people. I'm saying it like this because actually, I'm waking up to the fact that we're all sick. We're all quite sick actually. We're having a good time. I'm not denying that, but we're all quite sick. We're all mentally deranged and sick. There's a big spell upon us. And that's what it is. So what is this that Allah is saying about being astray? Who are the ones astray? So dallin, that word right there at the very end of Al-Fatiha, dallin. And right here, clear as day, black and white, majority are going to mislead us if we follow their way. What are they doing? Nothing except that same thing about people claiming about what Isa alayhi salam, that he was crucified. What does Allah say? Nothing except just opinions, thoughts, assumptions, guesses. That's all it is. No one's following anything factual. No one's following anything concrete. They follow this. This is what it is. That's what mutashabih is. People want to follow mutashabih, things that sound like things that resemble people's thinking. That's what it is. Oh, this resembles that. I've been told that this means this, and this resembles that. That's what it is that people are following. Assumptions. What is assumptions? An assumption is a thing that is accepted as true or as certain to happen without proof. Without proof. That's what people are following. No proof of anything. But they accept it as true. They accept it as certain. That is the Kaaba that is in the Quran. That is that. That is the Salat that is mentioned in the Quran. That is that. There's no proof, there's no evidence. But what there is clarity upon, the clear as day verses about what it is we're supposed to do, what it is we're not supposed to do, no one cares. They want to follow the mutashabih. They want to follow the opinions, the thoughts, the guesses, the assumptions. And they want to fight to their death to hold on to that, but reject everything else. I'm not picking at any individual, I'm saying generally speaking. This is our sickness, this is what the world is in right now. We have clear as day guidance, but most want to follow assumptions, most want to follow guesses, most want to follow mutashabih. They do not care about the muhkamat. I just showed you a muhkamat. Most will. How is there anything questionable here, what has just been said here in this verse? If you obey the majority, they will mislead you from the way of Allah. Not they follow, except, it takes some cartwheels, some acrobatics to say this means, no, it doesn't mean what you're saying it means this and that. This is clear as day. This is muhkamat. This is what you can judge upon. So this Surah Fatiha that we recite, or we used to recite, or still do, or we think about it or recite, and I still recommend everyone do that, read that, think about that, ponder about that, speak to Allah, connect to Allah, do your salat. But what is it that we're being told here? Dhan and yakhrusun. If you look at that, dhan and yakhrusun. So that's what it is. If we follow the majority, we're following nothing but dhan and yakhrusuna. It's repeated quite a few times in the Quran. Dhan and yakhrusuna. This is basically just conjecture, it's assumptions, it's guesswork, it's making noise, it's shooting in the dark, it's opinions, no proof, no evidence. It's just things that sound like they are truth and they take them as certainty. That's your dhan and yakhrusun. Following that will make us of the lost ones. The very thing that we're praying or we're reciting or we're requesting to not be amongst. So if you look at another example of that, dhan and takhrusuna. What is Allah saying in this one? Those who associated with Allah will say, if Allah had willed, we would not have associated anything, and neither would our fathers. This is what people say, right? But this is what our people have always been doing. This is what we've been told that this is. This is what it has to be until you tell me what is right. This is what our fathers say. This is what our fathers have been doing. This is what I have been doing. This is what I still do, and this is what I would do until I know otherwise. But this is conjecture. This is assumptions. If we follow the majority, this is what the majority are doing, right? That's what they're following. So those who associated with Allah will say, if Allah had willed, we would not have associated, and neither would our fathers, nor would we have made anything haram. Yeah, see, haramna. Where does that come from, making things haram? Say, do you have any knowledge that you can produce for us? Hal indakum min ilmin fatukhrijuhu. Say, is there any knowledge that you can produce for us? You follow not except, there is, that's what I'm saying. They follow not except dhan and takhrusun. It's just guesswork. It's just guesswork, and Allah's telling us, do not follow them. All of this dhan and yakhrusuna or takhrusun, guesswork, assumptions, just thoughts, opinions, not facts, but taken as facts. Don't follow it. That is what is going to make you fail in the hereafter, in this world and in the hereafter. Don't follow it. One more example. No doubt, indeed, to Allah belongs whoever is in from the heavens and the earth. Indeed, no doubt, to Allah belongs everything within the heavens and the earth, and not follow those who invoke other than Allah partners. Don't follow those who invoke other than Allah partners. We know where this is taking place. Don't invoke other than don't follow those who invoke other than Allah partners. Basically, don't follow those who do shirk. Don't follow those who do shirk, essentially. Not they follow, except dhann and yakhrusuna. This is the majority. The majority are doing shirk. The majority are following assumptions, thoughts, guesswork, just noise, taken as facts, opinions taken as facts, without proof. This is what Allah's saying. Take you back there. Yakhrusuna, if you obey most of those in the earth, they will make you lost. Surah Al-Fatiha at the very end. Don't let us be from amongst the lost. This is it right here, clear as day. Don't follow the majority. It doesn't matter if the majority say that is that place over there and they're going there. There's no evidence for it. They've just told you. It's just guesswork. It's just information. It's assumption. Here, a little bit of context. Surah Al-Fatiha. So I've been going through the first few verses. But now if we look at the end, this is exactly what people are requesting. This is what they want. This is what brings people to the Quran, right? This is what brings people to the Quran. This. Guide us to the straight path. The path of those whom you've blessed. Not of those with the anger. Al-Maghdub. Yeah? And Ad-Dwalin. It's clear. There's the successful path, as you see in the thumbnail. That is the successful path. The path of the few. This is the description in the Quran repeatedly. The path of the few. Not the path of the majority. Because what did they do? You just have to look at the next surah. You'll get the description who they are. Who are these people who were blessed and they turned? And how did they turn back? And what is it that made them lost? I won't go through it here, but you just have to look in Surah Al-Baqarah, straight with the next one. You'll find that this is the Bani Isra'il at that time of Musa alayhi salam. They turned back. They were given guidance, but they turned back. They wanted to follow the Pharaonic way. The Pharaonic way. The Pharaonic way is oppression, and we are oppressing ourselves, and that's what Allah says. Yeah, we are oppressing ourselves. We are doing dhulm to ourselves. Pharaoh is the oppressor, but he's got us literally by the balls. Circumcision is from Pharaoh. Yeah, I'm just giving one example. There's so many examples. The whole triggering is taking place in the whole world. Everyone is triggered continuously because of all of the spells that have been placed upon everyone. And this is just one of them. Yeah. All of this, where does this come from? That we have to do this. Where does it come from? Because if it was clear, then it would be in the Quran. And that's how they've got most people. That's how they've got even most men, I'd say. Yeah. Through doing that one act from birth. That one act. We don't know how profound that act is. We don't know how profound that act is. Grabbing every single male from the very beginning and doing that thing, and now they're triggered. Now there's a spell they're triggered. There's many other examples, but it's all Pharaonic oppression, and everyone carrying out this Pharaonic oppression upon themselves continuously, and going to visit the Pharaonic headquarters, and paying Pharaoh as well at the same time to visit the Pharaonic headquarters to further oppress ourselves. If you look at the context of this verse, were you to obey most of those on earth, they would make you lost. Yudilluka, as I mentioned, Surah Al-Fatiha again, in case you missed it. Dwalin, the last word. Yudilluka, this is it, it's clear as day. Don't follow the majority. This is repeated throughout the Quran. I'm just going to focus here. I'm not going to go all over the place. But just look at the context here. Shall I seek a judge other than Allah when it is He who revealed the book to you, perfectly explained? This book does give answers. I just gave you several examples of dhann and yakhrusun. It tells you the formula. If you look and you pick up on these words, you'll see this is how this Quran is written. It brings home the point. It repeats things in a way that no other literature can, and it makes things very clear. Shall I seek a judge other than Allah when it is He who revealed the book to you perfectly explained? Those to whom we gave the book know that it is the truth revealed from your Lord. So do not be of those who are, actually I think this is insincere. Do not be of those who are insincere. Mumtareen. Very important. This is Siraat Al Mustaqeem as well. So if you want to know about Siraat Al Mustaqeem, what are the qualities of Siraat Al Mustaqeem? This is also important. It's hard to stay on track, but these things, if you study them, sincerity, gratitude, being grateful for what Allah's given. If you're not studying this book, then you're not really grateful. If you're following things outside of the Quran and you're not following what's in the Quran, you're not really grateful. You're ungrateful. You're not sincere as well. They're both connected. Are you sincere to this book? Are you grateful to this book? Or are you insincere and following other things, therefore not really grateful to this book? And therefore at the same time, doing shirk and doing kufr. It's all connected. You're doing shirk, you're associating something false to this Quran. You're associating something false to what Allah said. You're covering up the truth. You're blaspheming. It's all connected. Being just. That's Siraat Al Mustaqeem as well. Being just, being sincere, being authentic, being honest. All of these. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. But recognizing what is the truth. People want black and white. They want, what is definitely the truth? Can't give answers to everything, but what is definitely the truth? What is grey? Why are we following the grey? What is definitely evil? Why are we insisting on letting that come anywhere near this? Do not be of those who are insincere. The word of your Lord has been completed in truth and justice. There is no changing to His words. La mubaddila li kalimati. There is no changing to His words. Wa huwa as-sami'ul alim. He is the hearer, the knower. And then comes, were you to obey the majority of those on earth, they would make you lost. They will make you a loser from Allah's way. They follow nothing but speculation and guess. There's your context. Your Lord knows best who stray from His path. Yadillu, there is. And He knows best who are rightly guided. Bil muhtadin. Huda. And Yadillu. This is it. This is how you study the Quran. You see how these words are used. We're looking for Huda on the upright path, on Siraat Al Mustaqeem, and not to be Dwalin. And there it is again. Huda. Allah knows who is Huda and who is lost. And here it is just before. Don't follow the majority. They only follow opinions, thoughts, guesswork, speculation, assumptions, which they claim is factual, but they've got no proof for it, but they take it as proof. Straight away in the next surah, there's so many examples, but straight away in the next surah, just one example here, Surah Baqarah, we have it right here. The formula to not be on the lost path and to be on the path of those who are guided. This is what the whole Quran is about. It's telling us about Musa alayhi salam getting away from Fir'aun, escaping from Fir'aun, freeing himself, freeing others with him from Fir'aun, from Pharaonic oppression and from self-oppression, and following Allah's words and not following conjecture, not exchanging, as it says here, not exchanging, this Bani Isra'il, not exchanging the ayat for something else, not exchanging the ayat for something else. La mubaddila li kalimati, no changing Allah's words, no exchanging, no purchasing something else instead of what Allah has sent. This is it ultimately. Those who do, they are the lost ones, and that is the majority. Those who don't, they are the minority. They stick to what Allah said, these words. And furthermore, Allah says, do not dress up. Wala talbisu, this is what it is, do not dress up. Do not dress up the truth with falsehood, because that's what it is. This whole mutashabihat, following a religion, following lots of conjecture, lots of assumptions, thoughts, opinions, information taken as facts, taken as proof when there is no proof. This way is the religion, following all of this, as opposed to what is clear-cut truth in the Quran. No, and the majority do this. It's quite painful, it's sad, but the majority do this. They don't follow what is clearly said in the Quran. They follow all of this conjecture, all of this assumption, thought work, opinions, guesswork, taken as facts, that this sounds like this, mutashabih, not interested in the muhkamat, which is here again. Do not dress up the truth with falsehood, nor conceal the truth knowingly whilst you know. Once you know, that's why we can't turn back. We now know. We refuse to turn back because we can't. It's not within us. We can't turn back. There's only one way, and that way is forward. Once the door has been opened, once the blessing has been given, you move forward. And this is why I'm kind of doing this video today, because it's time to move forward. Whatever that looks like, it's time to move forward. However painful that might be, but it's time to move forward. Because I think we all agree there are people that do hold us back in continuously with these questions. And yeah, I think it prevents people from moving forward. But this is how the journey goes. Those who've been following the channel from 2 years ago, the last 2 years, I'm going to speak about this because I'm going to go through some of the teachers. I've added some things. I'm going to go through them right now to hopefully answer this question to people who think that one person should have the answers to everything and there should be a clear-cut explanation to something strange that has been taught to us. Because that's what people want. Okay, if this is not that, then what is the truth? Sometimes we don't know, but it's, what do you follow? Do you follow the religion of lots of grey, or do you follow the clear-cut millet and the deen of Ibrahim that is in the Quran? And that's what we're being called to do. We will not be questioned about things that we have no knowledge of, that we cannot prove to be true. We will not be questioned. And this is part of the madness. This is part of the fear-based, trauma-induced. Think about it. Your salat is going to be the first in question in your grave. A person who misses their salat is as though the person who's lost all of their family and wealth. It's all fear, trauma-based programming that's taken place. That's why people are being triggered. So it's either those who are willing to overcome that and recognize that and move forward, or not. Those who are willing to, as Allah says, majority won't. Majority will not engage in that cognitive dissonance. Majority will demand, bring us something other than this. No, we want something other than this. We get happy when you mention other things that are not in the Quran. I just spoke to Brother Ego yesterday, and he reminded me of when, for him, a lot of this changed, and that was June 2023. So it was soon after this video that was produced on the channel. So we do have Brother Negeta to thank to bring to our attention what it is that we're doing wrong. And so I recommend going to his channel. I'm going to go through all of the recommended playlists that I've put on the bottom now, because people will act like as if, you guys are the only guys. There's a whole world out there of people who are aware of what the truth is. So I'm going to go through this. I've now added a new list. I didn't want to put a list because of the infighting and the confusion that was taking place, so I removed this recommended playlist, but I've added a new recommended playlist now at the bottom. So this is the journey that most of us have been on. Many people have been on a journey way before us. Some have been on this journey with us. Some have been on a similar journey elsewhere. But for many of us, it began here with this video from Brother Negeto, awakening us to the fact that we're committing shirk. This is a very big deal. It's a very, very big deal. And this is what most people are defending today, defending shirk. That's what most people are defending. They are defending shirk. There's no two ways about it. Even if there aren't answers to a lot of questions, but it is people defending shirk at the end of the day. When you really think about it, they're defending shirk ultimately. So yeah, this is where it began for many of us. And as I said, I was just speaking to Brother Ego yesterday, and you can see this is I'm reminded of what he said at that time as well. We were all going through the changes. We were thinking, what is it that we're saying in this salat that we've been taught? What on earth is this? Why are we doing this? Where did this come from? This sounds like this is completely in rejection and ignorance to what Allah is telling us. So this is where the journey began. And that's why, these things that are being placed on the channel right now are triggering and are difficult. Even when I'm speaking of them, it's difficult. When I'm recording, it's difficult, but it's the truth and it has to be spoken. So it began there. And at the very end of last year, 31st December, I just want to go through this comment as well. So yeah, this was a great thing that Brother Ego did with us on what the world is kind of preparing for us, so I recommend that. A very important reminder of why, again, we're doing what we're doing, because we can see what's happening, we can see where the world is heading, we can see how things are going, where the majority are going, and we don't want to go where the majority are going. So that's what we're doing. We're being vigilant, we're looking out there, we're keeping an eye out, we're keeping an eye out the best that we can, and seeing what the hell is going on, to the point of keeping our sanity to our best ability and not losing ourselves completely to shaitan. So that's all quite difficult to do. But I just want to go through this comment that someone said when we did that conversation. He said, stop lying about Allah with your man-made hadith books. Stop lying about Allah with your man-made hadith books. Among the people are those who uphold baseless hadith and thus divert others from the path of Allah without knowledge and take it in vain. These have incurred a shameful retribution. It was quite a long list that he gave, and it really was quite... I'll just read it. Islam is not based upon a religion, correct. Islam is not based upon sectarianism, correct. Islam is not based upon empty rituals, correct. Islam is not based upon wasting money on Hajj and Umrah ritual, correct. Islam is not based upon man-made hadith books, correct. Islam is not based upon following man-made Sharia laws, correct. Islam is not based upon superstitions, dogmas, correct. Islam is not based upon idol worship, correct. Islam is not based upon prophet messenger worship, correct. Islam is not based upon saints, clerks, mullahs, imams worship, correct. Islam is not based upon grave worship, correct. Islam is not based upon ego worship. Islam is not based upon committing jihad for political or sectarian reasons, correct. Islam is not based upon torturing oneself and abandoning the enjoyments of life. This is the point. Who says that we can't enjoy life? It sounds sad, all of this, even what I'm saying this. Who says you can't enjoy life? In fact, if anything, you're probably more freer to enjoy life. A lot of what they've made haram, is actually not haram. Islam is not based upon torturing oneself and abandoning the enjoyments of life. Islam is not based upon applying blasphemy laws to suppress minorities. Islam is not based upon myths, illusions, absurdities, ignorance, blind imitation of others, assumption, conjecture, prejudice, whims, desires. Islam is not based upon regression and isolationism. Islam is not based upon extremism. Islam is not based upon radicalism. Islam is not based upon terrorism. Islam is not based upon racism. Islam is not based upon Arab culture. Islam is not based upon wearing beard and cap. These are the people who are defending it ultimately and have the most problem with whatever is being shared and said. Islam is not based upon wearing hijab, niqab, burqa. Again, I've got family members. I know this very well. I'm deep within these people, and it is something deep within my heart as well. I feel it. I'm not attacking. I'm trying to correct myself. I'm trying to save you guys as well, whoever's willing to listen. Whoever's willing to listen, whilst we still can. Islam is not based upon superiority complex or inferiority complex. Islam is not based upon lavishing sectarian label mosques. I've spoken about this, these lavish mosques. Islam is not based upon committing suicide. Yeah, I won't go through everything, but you can see this person knows, he's studied the Quran. Yeah, I won't go for any more. I'll leave that for you guys to have a look at that video, a very important video, and the pinned comment there. I'll leave it there. Agreed, brother. Much respect. Well said, Aki. Hear, hear. These are the people who resonate and recognize the absolute truth. May Allah keep us upon the truth, on the millet of Ibrahim, millet and deen of Ibrahim. So lastly, I've now added a list of Quran teachers for those who do want to learn. So I've been very careful with this. I've kept it limited. So I've got Muhammad Sharur here, Hassan al-Maliki. Those who need Arabs, these are two big name Arabs who will give you the truth. Just a little bit on them. This is Dr. Muhammad Sharur. These are doctors, these are intellectuals, these are people who have written books. These are people who know what they're speaking about. People will make mistakes, but they know what they're speaking about. The human, this is the main thing. We are following a religion that has turned this person into some other character completely. Whereas in the Quran, yes, completely human. Sheikh Hassan Farhan al-Maliki fell foul of the Saudi authorities because of his religious views, which include rejection of takfir. Everyone's pointing out this person's a kafir, this person needs to be killed, this person is a kafir, this person needs to be killed, this person needs to be executed. This is the world that we live in today. Yeah, the takfir and the apostasy and the things that don't exist in the Quran. This is what this person is. Look, he dresses like this as well, so he knows. So those who need someone who looks like him and is Arab, I've said before that Islam is great and immense, and so it cannot all be compressed into just one sect. That's why I've said I wish I had the intellect of the Mu'tazilites, the heart of the Shia, the spirituality and the gnosis of the Sufis, the firmness of the Salafis, and the civil rights of the liberalists, because we recognize there is truth within all of these sects. But we have to recognize that the ultimate truth is the Quran, and that lots of falsehood has been created by these sects. This is oppression. This is Pharaonic oppression. Political parties, groups upon groups that they can control. That's what this is, as opposed to following the Quran. So it's not saying that there isn't any good everywhere else. There is clearly good everywhere else. A lot of us have been through many of these journeys, and we recognize truth and goodness in lots of people. There are lots of people that are not immoral. There are lots of people that are not arrogant. We recognize this. But we have to wake up to the fact that we are still under a big spell. This is what happens to good people. The violations against Dr. Hassan Farhan al-Maliki, arbitrarily arrested since September 2017. The violations: they arrested his son for announcing his father's arrest, not allowing him to appoint a lawyer, solitary confinement, intimidation during the arrest, not allowing him to attend the funeral of his deceased son, procrastination in his trial and postponing court sessions more than 16 times, threatened with execution for expressing his opinion. We know how things are over there. We know what happens to good people who speak the truth. Bob Marley said, and yes, thank you, sister, if you are listening. Although I can't take everything that everyone shares with me, but yes, I do take whatever I can. The bad people trying to make the world worse never take a day off. So why should I? I think even Hamza Yusuf said this. They are busy every day working against the evil. What are we doing? Yeah, this is what it looks like, being busy in fighting the evil or working against the evil. And that can come in many ways. But this is ultimately ways that good people do suffer. Good people do suffer. And that is life, isn't it? That is life. So here's your two Arabs, if you need. Here's Muhammad Sheikh here, Pakistani. Here's, I'm not sure if, he seems like he could be Gujarati, he could be Indian, I'm not sure. But there's something for everyone here. He's in South Africa, I know that much. Both are students of Ahmad Didat. Yeah, this is no joke. These are intellectuals, those who respect and love Ahmad Didat for what he did for the Quran. These two are big students, Muhammad Sheikh and Ayub Karim, if I remember correctly, yeah. And then there's Leslie Terebessy. I'm giving you just a list of where you can learn the truth. Leslie Terebessy, listen to his conversations with Dr. Omar Zaid. I haven't put Dr. Omar Zaid here. I've left many people out on purpose because of, I don't want to confuse people, and I don't want to bring people towards anything that might be negative or confusing. So here's Brother Leslie Terebessy. I recommend his conversations. Dr. Omar Zaid has been a big factor in our guidance, always speaking to the right people, be it Sheikh Imran Hussein, whom we don't follow anymore. But Dr. Omar Zaid has always had a knack for speaking to the right people, speaking to Sheikh Omar Baluch, but these are people who remain on the false religion of Islam. However much they point out a lot of the contradictions and a lot of the falsehood, but they're neglecting the Quran for what it truly is, what it truly says. Dr. Omar Ramahi. So these are people who've written books. Leslie Terebessy has written books. They're on Amazon. I'm not going to go through everything now, but these are proper intellectuals, proper authors, professors, doctors, authors, intellectuals. Dr. Omar Ramahi, same. I've learned a lot from a lot of these people. Sam Gerrans, he's written books as well. He's got a whole entire huge body of work. And then after that, that's why I put this in this order. Then you can now go to those who are still working on the Quran and trying to understand the Quran and trying to teach the Quran, trying to help you understand as well. However much they still might not be 100% accurate, this is all our best efforts, our best attempt. There's Brother Negeta on the Hanifan channel. There's a Algerian brother, the True Islam. I've put his video as a featured video here. I recommend this. This is a very important video. This 30 minutes. Listen to this 30 minutes. Look at the comments as well. If you look at the comments in this video, you'll see why people do what it is they do, why they're rejecting this false religion of Islam, why they need to be saved and invited to not rejecting the Quran with it, because it has nothing to do with it. The Quran has nothing to do with this fake religion of Islam. You look at the comments. I recommend this. It's a very important lesson that he has to point out. There's a very good reason why. And he's come through the tradition. He's been deep in the tradition. He's learnt so much. And why has he come out of it? He's got a very good reason. Because people kill over falsehood. People do the worst things over falsehood. That's what it is. That is not in the Quran. Yeah. Look at the comments in this as well. You see from people why they're doing this. This is serious business. Serious business. It's no joke. It's not about just pointing out something wrong, you're wrong and I'm right. It's got nothing to do with that. We'd much rather be wrong. We'd much rather be wrong. What a nice world it would be to live in. I'm wrong, you guys are all right. Let's all live in peace. That would be much nicer. Much nicer. But this is about vigilance over our mind, our spirit, protecting ourselves in this time, which is rapidly, Allah knows best. Allah knows best. The truth exhausts the falsehood. That's how this works. It intellectually exhausts the falsehood. That's the only way this works. Either people are thinking or they're not thinking, and this is again in the Quran. There are those who refuse to think. Deaf, dumb, blind. Yeah, deaf, dumb, blind. They refuse to think. We're in a spiritual war. I just want to remind people that there is a lot of distraction taking place. A lot of distraction taking place. Silent weapons for quiet wars, whilst keeping us distracted with the noise of fake wars and fake threats. It's a spiritual war taking place. We have to know the enemy. We have to know ourselves. And that's what a lot of us are doing. This is what vigilance is. This is what taqwa is. Knowing who the enemy is, being vigilant, knowing ourselves, what we are susceptible to, and that's all we can do right now. That's what we're doing. Whilst we're all stuck, whilst we're all in this situation, whatever it is, we are trying to learn the best that we can, or change the best that we can. Because the hour is coming suddenly. The hour is coming suddenly. They ask you, O Muhammad, about the hour. When is it anchoring? Say, its knowledge is only with my Lord. But yes, this religion teaches, this false fake religion teaches that this is why he's so special, because he knew everything about the future. Its knowledge is only with my Lord. None can reveal its time except he. It lays heavily upon the heavens and the earth, and it will not come upon you except suddenly. But they want to teach about signs, and that this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and that's going to happen, and Dajjal, and Mahdi, and Isa, and Masjid Al-Aqsa, and Bani Isra'il, and Yajuj Majuj, and this and that, and Dabutul Ard, and this and that. None of it which is in the Quran, and is in complete conflict with the Quran. Here it is again. They ask you, O Muhammad, as if you are well informed about it. As if you are well informed about it. Say, its knowledge is only with Allah, but most of the people don't know. So you see that? We started off at the beginning about the majority. They will mislead us. And again, say, I do not have the power for myself to benefit harm or harm except what Allah has willed. And if I had knowledge of the unseen, I could have increased much good and no bad would have touched me. I am not except a warner and a human to a people who securely believe. The hour is coming suddenly, baghta, no warning, no signs. How much do we have to see? How much do we have to see? That this is what people follow. You remember how we started? The conjecture, the assumptions, the dhann, the yakhrusun, takhrusun, guesswork, opinions, taken as facts. That's what this is. This 1-2%. That's what that is. And that's what everyone's busy doing. Just carrying these books and defending anyone that says anything about this book, but not opening and reading it for themselves. That's what people are doing. That's what the majority are doing. As is in Surah Jummah 62 verse 5. Yeah, just carrying, just making journeys, just walking with, just making journeys, travels, but absorbing nothing, reading nothing, thinking about nothing. Iblis is on the straight road. Iblis is sitting on the straight road. This is in the Quran. He is sitting on the straight path. Take that however you want, both literally and metaphorically. I'm fine with both. I can believe in both. He's sitting on it literally. He's sitting on it metaphorically. Because Siraat Al Mustaqeem, to be on Siraat Al Mustaqeem is to be honest, sincere, truthful, authentic, just, all of these things. So it's about character as well as what we might experience in the future when we're making our journey away from this world. Allah knows best. Iblis is sitting on that straight road, that one path, not several sects. Since the dawn of humanity, there's not been a single soul who can claim perfection. So I know people will try to do this. They'll try to shoot down anyone speaking the truth. They will try to do this, and they will try to do character assassination. They will try to judge that person. And even those who are trying to learn, they will be afraid. Don't be afraid, there is no perfection. That's part of the traumatization. That's part of the Pharaonic oppression. That's part of the OCD. That's part of the spell that demand for this perfect ritual or how to do this. This is part of the demonic effects upon us. Simple thing like go run. Oh, how do I run? What do I wear? What laces should I put? How tightly should I tie my laces? Where should I go? How long should I run? What should I eat? How much should I eat? How many milligrams? How many this, that? We can see where this comes from. This is madness. It's the same thing everywhere. So don't worry about perfection. Something is coming, as it has in the past. It seems to repeat. And if you obey most from within the earth, they will make you lost from the way of Allah. Not they follow except assumption, and not they are except making noise. Peace everyone. See you next time inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.